Having a great day. Hope whatever you're up to, that you're taking just a few minutes to have a conversation with me, a few minutes to maybe learn, a few minutes to just take a reprieve. Wherever you're watching today, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, the like, man, I'm excited you're here. If you're coming at a later time, if you're going back through the archives that I maintain in YouTube, uh, glad this is bringing value to you. So today we are continuing the conversation. Leadership is action. This Friday, I'll be releasing a podcast with Adrian Kaler. And he and I had a deep conversation about leadership action. And today, I want to drive down the path. Leadership is broken. And there's many facets to why leadership are broken today. And I think the biggest reason I see, and Adrian commented this way, is in his mind, leadership, when it's healthiest, is the full expression of our being in living out our purpose. I mean, he described that in not so many words. To him, it was the full expression. To me, living out our purpose is that full expression. Where we find trouble, where people fall into the imposter syndrome, is why they don't know where they're, why they got to where they're at. Last week, I talked about it with Tajan Braithwaite Renderos, where a lot of times people end up in the imposter role because they've been forced to sink or swim. And usually the swimmers, they don't understand how. They just survived. And that's really hard to duplicate. Well, if we look at why leadership is broken, it's oftentimes because we impart leadership upon the ones that swam. The people that just happen to figure it out. They don't know how, they don't know why. They didn't go through the discovery of who they are. And that to me is when leadership is at its best. It's leadership is the ultimate place, is the place for ultimate service. Let me clear that up. Leadership is the place for ultimate service. See, if we look at leadership as a position, as a title, as a authority place, it may be, but the people that lead the best don't position themselves in that way. They're just a part of the team. They're making sure that everyone else is doing what only they can do to accomplish the vision of whatever that organization or team may be. I'm going to finish with my thought of the day and share this and describe it a little bit. Leadership should never be viewed as a place of power. It's a role of tremendous responsibility. I was been in meetings the last few weeks, and there's this contentious point about, oh, do we need a leader, or can we kind of report to ourselves? My opinion is, if there's not a leader, no one leads. It's often the case. Now, what does that leader look like? Do they have this figurehead? Do they have a special title? Do they have this or that? I don't necessarily think so. It's the person that takes on the role of service. It's the role of responsibility, saying, hey, whatever we do, I'll put it on my shoulders to make sure we either get there or we don't. I'll be the one to be ultimately accountable, because someone has to be. And that's really the role of the leader, to be ultimately accountable. Where we've gotten in trouble in society is when no one wants to be accountable. They just start pointing fingers. See, that's not leadership. Leadership's not a place of power. Leadership is a role of tremendous responsibility. Responsibility that the organization, the group, the mission is accomplished. Sometimes it's not glamorous. It's not sexy. It's not, a fame-driven position. But the leaders, I'll go back to Jim Collins. The level 5 leaders, they're not looking at it for that. They're looking at something so much bigger. Leadership is broken because too often people try to get into position of leadership for the power instead of understanding, I need to see it as a responsibility. Hope you got value from today. Man, thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for tuning in. One thing to let you know, I send out a newsletter each week. If you would like to get that, my encouragement is go to the Impact Driven Leader /free course. It's a free video series that just kind of tells a little bit more about me. You'll be entered into the email list for my newsletter. I'd love to share that with you. Love to share my thoughts and kind of condensing all of these different ideas to add in your tool bag as you're growing as a leader, as you're trying to be more impact driven. Again, thanks for being here. We'll catch you next time.